Hello and welcome to Sunday Politics, reaching you live from our global headquarters here in the nation's commercial net center, Lagos. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. How have you been? It's a weekend, 14 days down the line in the month of July. And I always tell people, before you know the year 2024 is over, so it's always important you take stock of how far you've gone in whatever plan you have. We've been watching what's been going on in the policy in the country and around the world. Look at what's going on in America. Donald Trump surviving an assassination attempt. Initially, people were saying to a stage, but now we know that there were gunshots and someone, even died in the process, others injured. And Donald Trump, the person who was responsible for that gunshot, was neutralized by the security services. And that tells you that it's not rosy anywhere as far as politics and politics is concerned, but it's just quite interesting to see how things develop. And politics is evolving around the world. But like the president of that country has said, there's no room for violence in the polity. What we see in Nigeria is also something that we also need to bring in focus, which is why this show is all about tracking the polity and ensuring that there is no violence within our polity, because it's not a do or die affair. Although Nigerian politics is about zero-sum game, literally the winner takes all. How we will change our orientation to see that different parties representing different interests have the nation at their hearts to serve in one way or the other. And they bring their ideas together to the people and say, this is what I have on offer. The people will now decide exactly who they prefer in terms of their ideas to transform the fortune of our country. And that's exactly how politics is supposed to be played, not violence and all of that. We needed to get it out of the chest. But let's come back home to tell you what's going on. And it's some cheery news. The president of Dangote refinery, Aliko Dangote, says his facility is now set to roll out its petrol from next month, August 2024, having resolved its crude oil supply issues through the help of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and the federal government. Dangote told journalists in Lagos that the crude supply challenge, which affected the supply of petrol from the refinery, was resolved last week after the federal government intervened. The billionaire businessman took journalists on a guided tour of the refinery, which is located at the Lekki Free Trade Zone in Lagos. Now, recently, Dangote Industries Limited raised an alarm over attempts by international oil companies, IOCs, to frustrate efforts at purchasing crude for the refinery. Well, in the meantime, a court of appeal in the United Kingdom has dismissed the appeal of Process and Industrial Development, PID, on previous judgment halting the enforcement of its $11 billion award against Nigeria. In a unanimous decision, the lead judge, Lord Justice Snowden, permitted PNID to appeal the judgment but dismissed the appeal. In a copy of the judgment published on the UK judiciary website, one of the issues raised in the PNID appeal bordered on whether the lower court was wrong to order the £43 million legal cost to be paid in British pound sterling and not in naira. The company argued that Nigeria funded its legal services by exchanging naira from its consolidated revenue fund. On the second issue is whether the judge was right to order PNID to pay Nigeria's costs in sterling. Snowden, the lead judge, accepted the argument of Nigeria that since the legal cost was paid in sterling, the cost order should be paid in the same currency. So it's a good one for Nigeria. I'm sure you followed that particular legal issue. That would have been a huge, what they call judgment debt on an already stretched economy like Nigeria, where we're dealing with the debt burden of over 120 trillion naira in that excess. So, but let's continue with some things we're tracking right here. And that has to do with the elections that took place yesterday in two states. People's Democratic Party has won all the 21 local government council seats in the just concluded local government elections in Adamawa State. Announcing the results this evening at the commission's headquarters in Yola, the chairman of the Electoral Commission, Mohammed Umar, says the ruling party won overwhelmingly in the 21 local government councils of the state. Okay, I was thinking we could get the excerpt of the, when he was talking about the judgment, oh sorry, I should beg, too many judgments in my head, when I was talking about the result of that election in Adamawa State that happened yesterday. Now, That was not the only exercise that took place. It also happened in Delta State, where the candidate of the People's Democratic Party won all 25 local government council elections conducted on Saturday, July the 13th. Announcing the final result at the premises of the Delta State Independent Electoral Commission, the chairman of the commission, Dr. Jerry Baike, says one of the candidates of the PDP was returned unopposed. PDP contested against other parties and emerged winners in 24 local government areas where the elections were conducted. However, there were no elections in Udu local government area as the chairmanship candidate of the PDP, Mr. Vincent Oyibode, returned unopposed. The PDP councillorship candidate contested and won 499 electoral wards in the state, while the Allied People's Movement, APM, picked electoral ward 1 in Oshimili North local government area of Delta State. Welcome back. I have two big conversations today. One has to do with the elections that took place in the local government areas in Delta and Adamawa states. And of course, the state of the nation. I'm going to be speaking with the former governor as soon as possible. But let's get the feel of what played out in Adamawa State yesterday. Mr. Mohammed Umar is the chairman of the Adamawa State Independent Electoral Commission. He joins us from Yola in Adamawa State. Mr. Umar, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Let's begin with your quick assessment as the electoral umpire in the state of what you would say how things played out yesterday, stroke today in Adamawa State as far as this local government election is concerned.
Thank you very much. We had our local government elections yesterday after taking about 3 months planning for the election. Now, after planning for the election, we deployed men and material to the field on Friday evening with instruction to the electoral officers that they must distribute this material immediately they reach their local government councils. So that in the morning by 8 a.m., all the poll officials should be at the polling unit. Poll must open between 8 and 9. That was the instruction we were giving them. 20 local governments did exactly what we asked them to do. We had only one problem in one local government, that's the state headquarters, Yola North. The electoral officer couldn't start distributing material till around 10 a.m. That's the only issue we had during the election, but our materials went to the centers as directed by the commission. The election went on successfully, peacefully across the state. We collected the results in the evening yesterday. Declarations were made at the local government councils for the chairmanship and at the ward level for the councillorship. What happened today is we just sampled what transpired yesterday at the local government council, just for the journalists to know and for the general public and the nation to know what really happened. We announced the results for the 21 local government chairmanship and for the councillors. As you are aware, for the chairmanship, the PDP, People's Democratic Party, won all the 21 seats. And for the councillorship, the 226 councillorship, 225 went to the PDP and went to the one.
So, Mr. Omar, if I may button, my apology if I may button, we understand that the APC and I think SDP had pulled out of this exercise. What was the reason for their pulling out? Because it looks like it's only the PDP that was in this poll. Which other parties were contesting with the PDP?
About 12 political parties. We screened about 12 political parties for the election. Although there were some fielded candidates not in all the local government councils. You know, one party just fielded one chairmanship candidate and 2 councillors. Others fielded 5 candidates across the state. But for the APP, they decided we were together all along at the beginning. They attended the first meeting where we invited all the political parties. They contributed meaningfully to the discussions we had. They even started selling their forms, nomination forms, but all of a sudden they decided to opt out. Their reason being they don't agree with the composition of the commission. But meanwhile, we were appointed as commission members. They didn't complain. We were screened by the House of Assembly with their own members fully participating. They didn't complain. We were sworn in. They didn't complain. We sat down for our first meeting, no complaint. We invited them for a meeting, they contributed. So I don't know the reason why they said because we all of a sudden, they changed their mind and refused to take part.
Well, apparently from your words, listening mouth, they said they are not confident in the entire process, perhaps. So that's what you're saying. So So would you say this election was free, fair, credible, and transparent in your view?
It was free, fair, and credible. For the first time in the history of our elections in Adamawa State, we're able to deploy our men and materials to all the 4,104 polling units. You provided the avenue for the election. It's up to the people to vote for the candidate of their choice. And I believe what happened is they voted for the candidate of their choice.
So there are two quick questions I want to ask. Are you really an independent electoral commission? The reason I ask is because there has been complaining about state electoral commissions like yours. Look at what happened in Adamawa that is being run by the PDP. PDP won everything, including councillors. Delta State, PDP won everything, including councillors, I think about 499 of the PDP and then just one of other party. So people wonder if the process is really transparent, how come the incumbent party is always winning? And this has nothing to do with just PDP. If APC, PDP, most of the time, that's how it plays out. So I'm asking again, do you think you're really an independent electoral commission?
We are. We're an independent electoral commission. The work of an independent electoral commission is to provide a level playing ground for all the political parties. That we have done. We have provided the materials for the election. That we have done very well. So it's up to the political parties now to mobilize their people to either vote for them or not. You know what really happened? There's this notion people have that all local government elections, the party in power normally takes everything. Perhaps because of that, the people don't come out to even vote for other parties. Perhaps that is the reason why. But you see, in the issue of the councillorship, I've just given you an instance that one councillor won in Demsa local government council. It's the most difficult election you will ever conduct because you are dealing with the people within the same community. So if you feel people for the election, now everybody in that community will come out to vote for the person they want. So that's the reason why in Demsa, they voted for the NNPP candidate. In others, as I told you, in most of the local government, you find that the chairmanship or the council candidate are unopposed in most of them. Although we screened about 12 political parties, many of them were not active in this election actually.
Let me also say that the INEC chairman himself had mentioned the fact that governors should stop coronation and stop doing elections. The AGF has taken it took the states to court on the LG autonomy and may perhaps start working on seeing that INEC may start taking over the responsibility of State Electoral Commission, although that will be illegal according to section 197 of the Constitution. That has to be changed in that section. But do you subscribe to the fact that INEC does a better job, as flawed as INEC is, does a better job at conducting elections than any State Electoral Commission?
Yes. You know, governors, people are saying governors are coronated. This is a coronation. It's not. We were appointed as a commission here. Not even a single time has the governor called me to tell me, Chairman, do this or do that. He gave us free hand to operate. All the decisions we have taken, all what we have done during this election is the commission decision that we did. The governor has never interfered in our activities. So I don't know how they are calling the coronation. I don't know. But on the issue of INEC, INEC has been there for long. I came from INEC. I was a director. I retired as a director in INEC. I was administrative secretary in Taraba State. So I retired from INEC. So our election is far, far, far different from what is happening in the state. You are right.
Mr. Omar, I must thank you for coming on the program. We also thought we could get the SIEC, the chairman of Delta State's Electoral Commission as well, so that you can get his views on this one. But you can understand why people are concerned about election. If it happens in a PDP state, APC state, APC sweep, just like it happened in Gombe. I think it happened in Oyo. Now it's happening in Adamawa. It happened in Delta. We're having some coming up, I think, in Rivers and Akwa Ibom and all of that. So it looks like everybody already knows the outcome. So why would people come out and vote? That is the perception. And if nothing is done to address that perception, then we're not going anywhere with our democracy. But we must thank you for brave enough to come on the program, Mohammed Umar, the chairman, Adamawa State Independent Electoral Commission. I appreciate you, sir, for coming.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Your Excellency, thank you again for coming on the program.
I am here.
I like the way you said it, I'm here. We've been trying to track you. All right, so I was saying my initial question was, it's been a while we heard from you. What exactly is going on?
Well, there is a season for all things, and that time for all seasons. So I have gotten several invitations, but it's just convenient now. There are other things that were taking my attention.
Okay, let me begin with the conversation I just had just moments ago. Before we got to the issue of LG autonomy, which I know you would like to speak to, is this concern about incumbent political parties, I mean the party of the governor, always sweeping local government polls? In fact, the AGF is quite unhappy with it. The INEC chairman, from his words, from his mouth to our listening ears, I heard him say, Governor, stop the coronation and start doing elections. So in Delta, for instance, the PDP has swept it all. In Adamawa, the PDP has swept it. Gombe, similar happened, I think, in Oyo. So if you go across board, it has nothing to do with a particular political party. It feels like whoever is the governor, his party wins all of the election. Can we build a democratic society that way at the subnational level? Honestly, in your view?
Well, I want to let you understand that when the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? Before now, to amend our constitution to achieve a particular goal, it takes forever. You will want to, first of all, to start when you have staggered elections. And many times you find out that the incumbent party, the party of incumbent, normally win in a staggered election. That is exactly what is playing out at the various local government elections. And you want to go a step further without deceiving yourself, without deceiving the country, there's no way we can achieve what you guys are looking for, because our democracy is dependent on so many things. Our democracy does not thrive on your popularity sometimes. There are a lot of factors. When an election is won, a lot of people get discouraged. And when they get discouraged, they don't come out to vote in an election. There are some elections, the moment you get the ticket, you can be assured that you have won that election. And there are some elections, when you get the ticket, there's still the battle ahead. And most political parties don't equally go the extra mile in the participation, because they have the mindset that they can't win. And when you look at the money politics, a side might have capacity to outspend the other ones. At the end of the day, they get discouraged, they don't participate. Some begins to drag their feet and believe that whatever I do, whatever I put in place, nothing can be achieved. So on the other, are you hearing me?
We're listening to you. We're listening to you, absolutely.
So on the other hand, you can't put illegality in place by asking the federal INEC to take over the state INEC. That would be an illegality. And when we speak on that topic you mentioned in a while, I will be able to expatiate on why powers of the states cannot be taken away. The moment you want to take away the powers of the state, then we have deviated from federal system of government, where the state is as strong as the federal government on most matters. As the president cannot dictate to his state, even the president cannot dictate to his state more deep than you will consider a governor dictating to a local government chairman. While I am not against the judgment of the court, how realistic would that translate to the ground, to the benefit of anybody outside what it used to be? So as it is today, the situation will continue. You cannot tell me that I cannot coronate, or I cannot, in terms of who becomes the chairman, everybody looks up to the governor. And the governor allows communities in some places to go and pick people. And naturally, if you're on the same saddle, you will not put your enemies, allow your enemies to take over, where there will be an election for you thereafter.
Mr. Fayose, if I may butt in, my apology, if I may butt in on this one, there are two angles I want you to look at it for us. It's a democracy, government of the people, by the people, and for the people, as we generally agree to be the ideal of democracy. So we use terms like look up to the governor. I thought the people are supposed to decide who leads them. So what it feels like for all of us who are not politicians, who are onlookers, it feels like the design of the drafters of the concept of the tiers of government and our constitution believe that these tiers of government is how governance should trickle down to the people. But for the political class like yourself, it looks like a consolidation of political structure. So which should we be adhering to the more?
I just said to you that when you get to that stage of the local government, autonomy and all about the judgment, I will expatiate more.
Okay.
You'll be able to get a picture. But for now, that is how our democracy is. Let me bend back. If you're in the presidency, either a PDP presidency or APC presidency, why do somebody get ticket and run to Abuja? And Mr. President will raise his hand. Or the leader of the party will raise his hand. It is only to call his support. It is only to send signals that we are in government. We are in government. Remember that I said, even an election conducted by federal INEC, people will still tell you we are in government. Even those people you are seeing, the people that should be the beneficiary of the electoral system, the whole country is sick. The mentality is sick. The attitude is wrong. When we agree to change the fundamentals, the attitude, everybody agrees for us for a new beginning, you will see that beginning. The democracy we are all talking about is just lip service. You blame governors from today till next year, you are wasting your time. If you go to a governor now and you have expectation, you say this, the expectation does not come, he becomes a bad man. You will not be talking about his performance anymore. You tell me he's a stupid man. He has no respect. He does not consider us. Are those people saying that blind to see his good works? It is attitude in Nigeria. Nobody can be blamed until we all change our attitude.
Good point you've made, Mr. Fayose. Good point you've made. But there's a lot I need to take you on this one, because it's sounding like it is who is in power that decides what happens, and that's not the democracy largely we hope to practice.
I have told you that the system is sick ab initio.
Okay, so let's go
now.
Let's go to what you wanted to
tomorrow, until it all changes.
Okay. So let's go to that LG autonomy you like to speak to. Apparently, you accept the judgment, but you don't agree with a few things. Maybe this is the time to speak with what you don't agree with.
You see, I don't like to. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a politician, and by God's grace today, I'm an elder statesman. I would be very factual. I would be very sincere. We are talking about arms of government. We are talking about the executive, the judiciary, and the The executive, judiciary, and legislature. Yes. Now, by extension, the local government administration. While I love and do not believe that any governor should take local government funds, may I say to you very clearly this evening that you cannot take the baby from the mother. There is nobody that will become council chairman without a governor. Anybody telling you otherwise is wasting his time. Let me quickly remind you that the House of Assembly of every state controls the activities and checkmates the activities of the local government. So when you want to make laws, the House of Assembly wants to make laws. House of Assembly wants to say that you are not doing this, you are suspended. And they say they give you the money of the local councils and take it from the governor, or because they are sending it to the governor. May I say to you, when I was governor of Ekiti, I had the privilege of receiving money from Abuja to the Jack account. When you receive money from the Jack account, there are people that manages the account, not the politicians alone, not the council chairman. There is only one representative of the governor, which is the local government commissioner. All others are the local government officials, local government workers, pensioners of the local government, and they appropriate the funds. But when you now come back and say we have given power to the local government, what power have you given to them? No power. Any council chairman that says, okay, money is coming to me, I will disrespect my governor. House of Assembly will bring you and tell you, go and disobey your governor inside your house. Go and disobey, because you never even be a council chairman without the governor standing up for you. When you are in an opposing party, it's a different ballgame. But even at that, the House of Assembly regulates your activities. Let me equally tell you this, which needs to be addressed. Do you know that if you go to, and I want Channels Television and most media houses to try and investigate what I want to tell you today. Go to the council Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You will not find 10% of the staff of the local government in council. They don't come. My name is Fayose. I want them to dispute this. They don't come to work. When you make moves to bring them to book, both Noge and all leaders of the local government will come and be begging the governor. They will be telling you, we will not vote against you. I mean, we will not vote for you. This is the way we operate at the local government. Do you know the state is more effective in administrative performance than the local government? At the local government, everybody comes to collect money. Even people have left some states, they live somewhere else, money just hit their accounts.
All right, Mr. Fayose, if I may butt in, at the end of the day, it sounds like this was a creation. This was not the idea of the framers of this structure. It looks like a creation of the governors, which is why it looked like this is like taking the governors. Just hold on, sir. Just a minute, sir. It looks like this is one step at taking the governors' necks off the legs off the neck of local government. The governors' necks are on the legislature. They are appendages, literally, or for the most part, of the House of Assembly. House of Assembly are appendages of the governor. They literally can't do anything. We've seen governors borrow money recklessly, and the Assembly still endorse. Now local government, which is why perhaps the federal government is intervening. So don't you think that it is time to repurpose the democracy we practice rather than seeing it collapsing again based on precedent?
You are just saying exactly what I said. Except we all change our attitude. The leader and the led. We're wasting our time. Let me give you an instance that I had recently that shook and surprised me in Nigeria. And I want Nigerians to listen to this. I visited somebody, and in the course of there, somebody was calling from the Dangote refinery and was raising alarm on the intention to bomb the Dangote refinery, because there are institutions who believe that the effort of the federal government to give crude to Dangote to be able to produce and bring the cost of petrol or PMS down. The cabals in the import industry of products, the people that are handlers of it, they are saying that will never work as long as they exist, because you want to take feeding bottle from us. Even if the federal government has good intention, even if Dangote has good intention, what can they do? The president will not go and be manning the boats and converting himself to a security man. Every nation that succeeds, the people will first of all have the right attitude. How can somebody who is not from Niger Delta or somebody who's from Niger Delta tapping Nigerians' crude, people coming together to say we are going to go and bomb Dangote if he continues to process the products, because it will take food from some people?
Right.
What a country.
Okay.
So let me go back to your question.
Yes, just a line, because I have a couple of questions I want to ask you.
Please go ahead.
Okay, because that Dangote question is a long conversation, because there are so many elements to it. On federal government side, everybody has a bit of what to share in terms of the blame. But I don't want to go there. Let's talk about the economy for a moment, and then we'll delve into some politics. The economy is in, I don't want to use the word dire straits, but it's not looking good. We've seen what the result of the removal of subsidy and, of course, the floating of the naira has done. There has been effort, but we're not seeing it translate to the kind of results we will want to see, at least in the short term. And I know you're a member of the PDP. And one wonders, because everybody has said that they are going to remove subsidy, all of the political parties, at least the frontliners. What will the party, the PDP, would have done differently to not have brought us to this particular position, given where we are, if they were in power, for instance?
You see, there are three things I want to draw your attention to. When an Hausa man is in power, they will say this is against the North. They say they are targeting Muslims. They are targeting Fulanis. When the Yoruba man is there, they will say this is our turn. Ududua will not allow this. If an Igbo man there, they will say, you remember the civil war, they want to carry Nigeria away. Our country is plagued by so many problems. If I may come to your question, do we manufacture dollar in Nigeria? As long as dollar is going up, there is no miracle. Every Nigerian house, home, wants to eat imported. They want imported toothpick, imported jollof rice, imported cake, imported this. The demand for the dollar keeps going up. And when the naira is weak, the same naira goes after the products they are bringing it to sell. May I say to you, while I pray for a better Nigeria, a situation that must make the ordinary man, the condition of the ordinary man gets better, I need to be factual. Let me say this very clearly. I've been to a few countries, and when I get there, I ask you, how much is your fuel? When you convert it, it will be around $2.55. When you get to another country, it will be around that or more. Why I'm not saying that should be in our country, but the reality is that the dollar has gone so weak that the purchasing power has become zero. Therefore, what can you blame anybody for? Yes, when things are not going right in a family, the father suffers the blame. The mother in a way, suffers the blame. But the children may not understand what is going on. Nigeria is not a country, it's so many countries in one. And the ideals and the situation we are facing, like I said to you, except the attitude changes, nothing will get better.
Mr. Fayose, we're due for...
And let me say to you, I will not be surprised, which is not my prayer, it's not my wish. A lot of noise has been going on that the federal government has started paying subsidy. The federal government has started doing this. If they are not equally doing that, the country will have been in trouble.
All right, Mr. Fayose, I understand.
They are not finding a way to cushion this fuel, the price of PMS, the price of petrol. The country will have been in shambles.
My sincere apologies. We're totally out of time we're due for a break.
They may not tell you. They are importing this fuel into this country close to 2,000, close to 1,600 naira.
All right,
they will not tell you because they will continue
if you can hear me, sir.
Manage it so that there won't be crisis.
If you can hear me, sir. If you can hear me.
Only God can help Nigeria.
All right, if you can hear me, we're due for a break.
Situation, and if there's still pressure on the dollar, there's nothing the CBN governor can do. If there's pressure on the dollar, there's hardly the president can do.
Mr. Fayose, can you hear me, sir?
Because it's not only those in government that are spending dollar. Everybody's spending
dollar.
All right,
we're totally due for a break. I must have to butt in at this particular point, Mr. Fayose, if you can hear me.
That is why the standard of living is going down every day. Inflation is going up. Until we sit back, all accept that we want to move forward in a different way.
I suspect you're not hearing me, sir. So, but I'm due for a break. I may have to butt in so that we'll come back and continue the conversation. But exactly, you didn't answer my question. My question was, what would PDP have done differently? I think you were just talking about the challenges. You may have to respond to that when we come back after the break. Plus, a few other questions I would like to ask before we run out of time. Join us again. Welcome back. I've been speaking with the former governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Ayodele Fayose. He joins us from Lagos, but not in our studios here. Mr. Fayose, thank you so much. At some point, I think you were not hearing me clearly, so I was trying to interject because of the break. But just as we begin to wind down, I want to take a few questions. If you can answer them in one minute, I would really appreciate it. So let's go to Ekiti politics.
That's fine.
I think I read Biodun Olujimi, the senator, they asked her questions about you that both of you, you're friends, but it looks like you're having face-off. So maybe first you say whether that face-off is on, because she was alluding to the fact that, from what I saw, that you show up during the election cycle, and then after election you go quiet and you resurface again at another round of election or when there's a Congress. I would like you to respond to that, if you will.
I have no response to that. At my level of life, I can't be joining issues with questions that goes to no importance.
Yeah, the reason I was asking
okay.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Whoever has said that, I think I've gone too far in life to get myself to that low level, low state to be answering that. Olujimi was a senator. I am a former governor. He's the wife of another man. I have my wife. Let everybody move on their life.
Yeah, the reason
no personal issues.
Yeah, the reason I was asking that question because people were wondering how the party is not well put together, because you're supposed to put that party leadership at the forefront as far as being a former governor is concerned, and given the role you played and you've been playing in that policy. So that's why I asked the question. But this is the position she has put out as far as your reputation is concerned in terms of the party leadership at that level.
May I say to you, at different times in life, we will give our best. I have given all that I could give, and I'll still continue to give. But for me to join issues with anybody on Ekiti politics, I was a two-term governor, defeated 2 incumbents. I am a father in that state. So the things I've done, let other people too try. In Nigeria, when you are no more in government, everybody can just say whatever they like about you. But I can't be bothered. With all due respect to Ms. Urujini, I don't want to join issues with her.
All right, I think I just have barely a minute or two to go, but I must ask you about your own maybe intervention this time as to what's playing out in Rivers and Edo State, especially Rivers, because I know yes on Wike, the FCT minister is your friend, but things are not getting better. Things keep festering every other day. And I remember when Fubara was taking over, you warned, I don't go to war with this man if you're not ready for the war, but like you're a prophet now, this is playing out. How do we get out of this conundrum?
With all due respect, and the fact that you know that I am from Afawo Ekiti, it will be out of place for me to be commenting on issues of River State. I don't want to do that. God will restore the necessary peace in Rivers. I don't want to get myself in the issue caught in the crossfire, but I would rather want to plead that I should be excused out of that controversy.
All right, Mr. Fayose, I must thank you for coming on the program. Definitely, we need to have this conversation so that we have a longer time. Because of the technical glitch, we couldn't have as much time as we should, because I have loads of questions I wanted to ask you as far as the PDP politics at the national level is concerned, but I'm told I'm totally out of time on the program. Thank you.
You can ask one question if you want to ask one question.
No, we're totally out of time. Maybe another invitation will surface for this.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Ayodele Fayose, so former governor of Ekiti State, thank you so much for coming on the program. And that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. Good night.